Myself, Ketan M. Patel from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari, Electrical Engineering Department. My subject name is Testing and Commissioning of Electrical Equipments, 4th year, 8th semester. Chapter number 1, Testing of Transformer, Plant and Equipments. Okay, next. Syllabus contents. First is winding resistance measurement. Second is leakage impedance voltage. Third is effects of insulation resistance measurements and power frequency withstand test. Okay. First of all, we discuss about the winding resistance measurement. Okay, this is the transformer windings. Okay, H1 to H1 to H2. Okay, and this is a I and this is a V1. Okay, and this is a R and L. Okay, and Ohm's law is V is equal to I into R plus L into di by dt. And okay, measurement of windings. DC resistance can be made with a Wheaton of a Kelvin bridge. Alternatively, volt ampere method can be used for low resistance measurement. Heavy current of 100 amperes and a sensitive meters would give accurate results. Test may be made the transformer is cold or hot. Windings and oil temperature should be recorded when measurements are made. So this is the basics theory of measurement of winding resistance of power transformer or any winding resistance. Okay, next, this is leakage impedance voltage. Okay. Now, what is leakage impedance in power transformer and how it is measured? The voltage to be applied to primary side to circulate rated current in the short circuited secondary is called leakage impedance voltage, or we can say impedance voltage of power transformer. It is measured by conducting short circuit test. Okay. Here is a transformer windings. This is a primary and secondary. Okay, and this is a impedance Z. Z is equal to R plus X. Okay, this is a VP primary voltage. This is a VS primary secondary voltage. This is a load. Okay, primary IP means primary current and secondary current. Okay, primary N. Okay, number of N turns and NS. Okay, and this is a ES. The leakage impedance voltage is given by the voltage, okay, Vs required to circulate rated current at reference temperature. The ratio VSC by ISC gives the leakage impedance Z1 if the measurements are made on the primary from which the leakage reactance can be circulated. Okay, so Z equal to V by I, VSC by ISC. Okay. Next, now effect of insulation resistance measurement. In insulation resistance measurement, there are mainly three important topics. First is main components of insulation resistance measurement, effect of temperature on insulation resistance, and causes of low value of insulation resistance. Now, first, main component of insulation resistance measurement. Now, what are the main component in the direct current or through the insulation in the insulation resistance measurement? Okay, and which components are the two representatives of insulation resistance measurement? So, the total direct current means IDC seen by the current coil of the Megger in insulation resistance measurement has following four components. Equation is IDC equal to IC plus IA plus ILC plus ILS, where IDC means total leakage current seen by Megger, IC means charging currents of capacitance, IA means dielectric absorption current, and ILC equal to conduction leakage current through the insulation. and LS means surface leakage current. Now IC plus IA is a flow for several seconds or minutes depending upon the size and capacitance of the insulation. Their magnitudes goes on reducing with the time, and after a few minutes the IC plus IA becomes 0. So our equation is IDC equal to IC plus IA plus ILC plus ILS. So IC plus IA is equal to 0. Now IDC equal to ILS plus ILC. The remaining two components ILC plus ILS are constant for given applied voltage and are the true indicates of the insulation resistance. Wet insulation increase conduction currents through the insulations. Dirty surface of insulations increase the surface leakage currents. Since the capacitance currents and absorption current reduce the zero after about 60 seconds to 10 minute insulation resistance. So INR 60 second and INR 10 minute gives the better quality about quality of insulation. Okay. Now, effect of temperature on insulation resistance. In case of power transformer, and what are the minimum permissible value of insulation resistance of transformer windings for 60 second reading? The insulation resistance depend upon the temperature. Therefore, when testing insulation, the temperature should also be measured. In oil immersed transformer, the temperature of the top oil is continuously taken as the insulation temperature, while in dry type transformers, it is the ambient temperature what is taken as the insulation temperature. The result of the insulation resistance measurement should be checked against the manufacturer specification or against the result of the previous test. If there are no such data, the check should be made against the value specified in the standards. For new oil immersed transformer, the 60-second insulation resistance as a function of the winding temperature and voltage classes is given in the table. The value of INR 60 refer to all the windings of given transformers. Now, minimum permissible insulation resistance INR 60 in mega ohm for oil immersed transformer windings. The magnitude of the insulation resistance is not always indicate of the degree of dryness of the transformer. Therefore, use is made of an additional characteristic known as Polarization Index, which is the ratio of the 60-second insulation resistance to the 15-second insulation resistance. So, PI Polarization Index is equal to INR 60 divided by INR 15. For power transformer with dry insulation, the polarization index at a temperature of 10 to 30 degrees Celsius must not be lower than 1.3. Before measuring the insulation resistance of an assembled transformer, its terminal bushings must be carefully wiped with a piece of dry cloth. When handling a maker, I should observe accident prevention rules. Transformer winding passes a substantial capacitance. Therefore, the current carrying parts can only be touched after electric charge has been removed from them. For this purpose, these parts should be connected to the earth tank. When doing this, one should wear rubber gloves. It is absolutely prohibited to use of maker to test transformer under voltage. So, the minimum permissible value of insulation resistance vary with the size of transformer and the voltage rating. A safe general rules is about 2 mega ohm per kilowatt of operating voltage when the transformer is hot. Okay, hot means 60 degree. Okay, for class A insulation, the insulation resistance in mega ohm get half for every 10 to 15 degrees Celsius rises. Therefore, the temperature should be noted and recorded every time insulation resistance is taken. Okay. Now, Third one is causes of low value of insulation resistance. Okay. And how it is insulation resistance should be brought to required level. The reason for low insulation resistance of electrical equipment first is dust and dirt sticking on the surface of the insulation. The carbon particles, metallic dust, and sludge has a tendency to align along the direction of electrical field on the internal and external surface of insulators in presence of moisture, such as on the basis internal external surfaces. Okay. Absorption of moisture by insulation and insulating oils result in low insulation resistance value. The insulation resistance is improved by cleaning the insulation surfaces, filtering the oil by drying out of electrical equipment. The drying out is carried out till desired value of insulation resistance is reached. Moisture in insulation is removed by drying out processes. The drying out is carried out before commissioning of the equipment, after an ideal period of the 2 or more weeks, and also after major overhaul, okay, depending upon the size of the equipment. Okay, so these are the all topics are in insulation resistance measurement. Okay, now power, frequency, voltage, withstand, test. Okay, in exam the question is explain test setup and procedure of power, frequency, withstand test. Okay. This test, power, frequency, withstand test, is a one type of type test. This is a type test. A route and a routing test. Specified test voltage is applied for 1 minute. There shall not be any phase over or breakdown. Okay, here this is the power, frequency, voltage, or we can say impulse voltage generator. Okay, this is the equipment under testing. Okay, and this is a transformer oil. Okay, this is a flash wall flange. Okay, CS aluminum 110 kV boostings, discharge resistance, voltage divider circuits. Okay, to break down the high voltage level. Okay, now the test voltage depend upon the type of transformer. Okay, like a dry or oil immersed transformer, applicable standard and specified insulation level. Test plan for power, frequency test. These tests are conducted in high voltage test laboratory. The equipment for conducting power, frequency, high voltage test are the following. First is voltage source. Single phase generator. Okay, single phase generator driver by AC motor. The terminal voltage can be varied widely by changing the field current. Okay. Second is high voltage transformer. High voltage transformer. These are the single phase transformer units. For obtaining high voltage, two units are connected in cascade. Now, apparatus for voltage regulations. During the test, the voltage is raised gradually. It is held as specified value for only 1 minute. Okay. Now, apparatus of voltage measurement. Special methods are developed for high voltage measurement. This include first is spear gap, okay, transformer ratio method, potential divider. Okay, here it is a voltage divider. Then methods of measuring peak voltage. Now, spear gap is the most popular and reliable method for calibrations. And now, switch gear and protective relay. Safety device like a switch gear equipment include gate switch, circuit breaker, etc. are in addition to the equipments. Okay, all the mention the following equipment like usually provided to conduct DC test, high frequency test, and impulse test. First is instruments for measurement and record, device to obtain voltage DC, device to obtain high frequency supply, devices to obtain impulse generator, and equipment for testing dielectric oil cable, etc. Okay, so these are the equipments under testings. Now, the test voltage is obtained from a single phase AC generator driven by an induction motor. The terminal voltage can be varied widely by changing the field current. The generator voltage is step up by the high voltage transformer. The test voltage is supplied to the apparatus under test. The spear gap is connected in parallel with the test specimen. The voltmeter on generator side. LT side can be calibrated by means of spear gap. In addition, instruments for measurement in the HT side to limit the current after breakdown. Okay. And circuit breakers opens and protect the circuits in case of any breakdown occur. So this is the whole circuit is power frequency resistance test. Okay. Now, okay, thank you.